Hello, and welcome back. As I've said in this episode, we're talking about trusting your intuition and becoming aware when your intuition is showing up. So I want to talk to you about why we should listen to it, how it helps us grow, and how we can learn to trust it even more, even when it doesn't make sense. So if you're ready to step into that, if you're ready to step into a whole new level of confidence and decision making, let's get started. Well, first of all, what is intuition, you ask? Well, it's that deep, unexplainable knowing that rises within us. Intuition isn't something that you can logically explain. It's a gut feeling. It's an instinct that something's right or it's wrong, even when there's absolutely no visible evidence to back that up. Now, have you ever had a gut feeling to go in one direction only to find later that it was the best decision you could have ever made? Yes, that you have? Well, that's intuition. That's intuition at work doing its job. But here's the thing. Most of us in today's society are taught to be logical, to weigh up the pros and the cons, to look at all the facts before making a decision. And all of that's great, especially in business or when making big practical decisions. But there's also a power in listening to that quiet voice inside of you, especially when it doesn't align with what's expected or what seems logical. Now, intuition is built on a lifetime of experiences. It's your subconscious mind constantly processing information, picking up on patterns, making connections. And when you learn to trust your intuition, you can tap into that vast store of knowledge. So let's talk about a time in your life when you followed your intuition, maybe without even realizing it first. It might have been in your career. It might be choosing to take a leap of faith into a new job, or deciding to leave a relationship that wasn't serving you. Maybe it was even a new project or a passion that you wanted to follow, and it just seemed a bit left field, but you listened, you did it, and it turned out to be exactly what you needed. Now, these moments when intuition guides us, it often feels so powerful because they're connected to us, to our core truth. Deep down, we know it's right for us, but sometimes it's hard to hear that voice over daily life, all that noise and opinions that are coming your way from other people. And you know what? That's okay. We've all ignored our intuition at one point or another. I've done it myself. I've second-guessed myself, thought I wasn't ready or thought the safe choice was the better one. But more often than not, when I trusted my intuition, the outcome was so much better than I could have ever imagined. So how can we start trusting our intuition more? How can we start to make it a regular part of our decision-making processes? Well, first of all, it's about becoming aware. So practicing awareness so that you can actually tune in to what it's telling you. So you can start by noticing when your intuition is actually speaking to you. And it may not always be a loud voice. Often it's a bit of a quiet nudge or a feeling that tells you that this is right or it doesn't feel so right. So the next time that you make a decision, pay attention to what's going on in your body. What physical sensations are happening? Does your heart race when you think about something? Do you feel at ease or maybe tense? Your body is often the first place that intuition is going to show up. Now, the more that you pay attention to these moments, the easier it's going to get for you to recognize when intuition is showing up for you. And you can start to understand how it feels to know something on a deeper level, even without needing all of the facts. Secondly, you want to silence the noise. Now, one of the hardest parts of trusting our intuition is the constant barrage of external input that we receive every single day. Social media, news, advice and opinions from friends and family, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it feels like every man and his dog has an opinion on what you should be doing. So to truly hear your intuition, you need space. You need to just turn down that noise and give yourself time to process things internally. Now, this could really be as simple as taking a walk without your phone, or it could be journaling about the decision that you're facing, or maybe it's even just sitting in silence a few minutes a day, just tuning into what's going off. Now, that quiet time really allows you to tune into that inner voice without all of those distractions that keep coming our way. So silence that noise as much as you can so that you can really tune in with what you are telling yourself, what your subconscious is telling you. And then third, start small. You don't need to make major life decisions based solely on your intuition right away. So start small. What should you have for lunch today? Should you take the scenic route to work? Should you wear red shoes or should you wear black shoes? Trust yourself in these small everyday choices, and gradually you'll become more comfortable listening to that inner voice and listening to it when the stakes are high and there's big decisions to make. You have to remember though, intuition isn't about being perfect. It's about building a relationship with yourself and learning to trust that process, no matter how uncertain that may seem. Now, you may make a mistake now and then, and that's okay. The more you practice, the more you strengthen that muscle. And there are things that come into play, like fear and scarcity and lack, that can actually make you make decisions and question that intuition. So the more that you can do these small things and start to build that trust in it, the more confidence you're going to have as you start to bring bigger decisions forward. So, how do you know that you've actually trusted your intuition? Well, the real test is going to come when you look back at your life and how far you've come. Trusting your intuition might not always give you instant results, but over time, you'll see how those pieces fit together. Things just seem to align. The right opportunities come your way, the right people show up in your life, and you're more at peace because you're following your truth. And even if it doesn't always lead to perfect outcomes, trusting your intuition will always lead you to growth, because the more you follow it, the more that you align with your true self. And that's where real success starts. Now, I've had a personal part of my journey that it was only about 7 years ago that I actually saw that trusting my intuition on a very big decision in my life was the right thing. And there are still times when I doubt it today. But this decision, I was in a relationship. I had been in that relationship for 19 years. And just one morning, I'd been feeling like it for a while, but one morning I took some time to just become aware of what was happening and started listening to what I believed I needed to do. Not on the opinions of other people and what everybody thought the safe thing to do was for me and the best thing to do for me. And I listened to my intuition and I made the decision to leave a marriage of 3 years and a relationship of 16 years, based solely on my intuition. Now, that intuition decision was obviously based on the experiences that I'd had through my life at that point. And at the time, I questioned it. For a couple of years, I think I questioned it. And then about 7 years ago, I made the move to the other side of the world, living in Australia, on a whole new life journey. And I looked back at, was my intuition right? Had I moved forward as I expected to? Had things gone the way I thought they would based on that decision? And there were a few things that validated that. Not only was I no longer in that relationship, and it wasn't a bad relationship, it just wasn't working out the way I believed it should have. But I was then working for myself. I was no longer employed, so I'd gone on to make a decision there based again on my intuition. I was living on the other side of the world, which when my parents showed me my diaries as a child, which I'd completely disregarded, I'd always put in my diaries that I would one day live in Australia. And there I was, 7 years ago, sat in Brisbane, Australia, enjoying life on a completely different life path, having trusted my intuition. So you don't have to go make big decisions like that. That was a massive decision for me. And I'm sharing that to show you that if you listen to other people's perspectives, other people's opinions and beliefs around what you should and shouldn't do in your life and in your business, you may not always end up where you expect to. If I'd have listened to family, if I'd have listened to friends, I would probably still be in that relationship, be very, very unhappy, be working for other people for the rest of my life and never actually fulfilling what I'm here to fulfill and not making the impact that I want to make. And I don't want that for you. So that's a major intuition decision for me. There's been lots of mini small ones and some middle ones, but don't go and make the big chunky ones right now if you're not 100% sure on trusting that intuition. Start small, become aware, silence the noise, start to make some small decisions so that you can build that trust and belief in the fact that you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you know what you want, and your intuition has so much good stuff in its knowledge bank to help you make those decisions along the way. So that's all for today. I just thought I'd share that personal part of my story, something that might resonate with some of you, and really just to showcase how impactful listening to your intuition can actually be. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please feel free to share far and wide. The more people I can get listening to this, the better. I really am here to help as many people, men and women across this globe, to actually show up with authenticity and consistency so that they can lead their lives and their businesses with purpose and with intent and just excel in life. And, you know, we're here once. We get one try. So let's bloody make it worthwhile. So as I say, have a great day, have a great week. Free to share far and wide. Before you go, don't forget and leave me a review if you haven't already. I love to hear what you think about this podcast, but also it helps get this out to more people so that I can make bigger impact and change the lives of others. So have a great week. I'll be back next week with more tips, hints and strategies to help you on your journey.